is First Coast News on your side.
First night, we start off covering breaking news. Gunfire erupting tonight inside the Amazon Fulfillment Center in North Jacksonville. Tonight, one person is dead, another injured. Let's go right away now to JSO. Police are giving us new information.
Upon arrival, patrol made entry immediately and located a black female and a black male suffering from gunshot wounds. The black female was pronounced deceased at the scene, and the black male was transported for additional medical treatment. His condition remains unknown at this time. I want to emphasize that this does not appear to be any type of active shooter incident. This does not appear to be any type of workplace violence. There is no imminent threat to the public at this time based on our initial investigation at the scene. As you would expect in a facility of this size and nature of operation, there were multiple witnesses to this incident. We have an extensive amount of detectives and major crimes personnel on scene from the sheriff's office conducting witness interviews. But we are very early in the investigation at this time, and future details are limited right now. Future information will be released to you through the PIO's office. Again, emphasize that we're early in the investigation, but I will take any questions that you have at this time. Again, we're early. There were some indications there may be a domestic relationship between the two parties. That's the reason for my previous statement about workplace violence, but it's too soon to release any
Is the
exact
person
details.
who was transported to the hospital the suspected shooter?
Again, still early in the investigation. I don't want to release information that's inaccurate to the public.
Did you have the suspect in custody?
Excuse me?
Do you have the suspect in custody?
And again, we don't know the exact relationship, who would be the aggressor, if that was the nature of this incident, so I don't want to produce any information that's inaccurate.
But there's no active shooter still out there?
There is no active shooter believed to be involved in the incident. We are conducting a sweep of the facility just out of standard protocol for this type of incident, this type of response to this kind of facility.
Are you able to confirm if the shooting happened toward the back of the building?
I can't confirm an exact location.
Did both of these people work here at Amazon?
Indications are they were employees of Amazon, yes.
I mean, was a gun recovered? Do you have a weapon?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Was a weapon recovered? Do you have a firearm?
A weapon was recovered at the scene, yes.
Right. And I mean, do you know how he was able to have a firearm inside this building with, security?
Again, very early in the investigation, I can't speak to Amazon security protocols. Those are things we will look at as part of our investigation, but I can't comment on them at this
And
time.
again, the two people that were involved.
Condition is unknown at this time.
And again, the two people that were involved, were they employees?
Yes, they appear to be employees of Amazon.
Do you know about how many shots were fired?
We do not have information related to that at this time.
At this time, you don't know who the shooter was, right?
We can't release that information at this point. We haven't made notification to any family members or anything along those lines yet.
Were they related?
We don't know that yet for sure. Again, there are early indications that there was possibly a domestic relationship, but we can't confirm that at this time.
Do you know ages, how old they were?
We don't have that information available for release right now. And again, emphasize any future information will be released through our PIO office at JSO.
Any other questions? How much longer do y'all anticipate to be out here? And I know that employees are being let go in shifts. When can everybody go
Again, massive facility. We're processing people as fast as we can, but we don't want to compromise the nature of the investigation. So that's all we have at this time. Thank y'all for coming out.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
So you are listening now to JSO just giving us information, and we're getting that latest information from JSO. They're saying it appears that at the Amazon Fulfillment Center on the north side near the airport tonight, one female Amazon employee was shot and killed. A man, apparently also an employee, wounded. We're not exactly sure if he is okay or not at the hospital right now. They don't want to give out his identity, but the key points is they do not appear to have an active shooter situation going on right now at the Amazon Fulfillment Center, and the public does not need to worry about any danger. But there were weapons involved, at least one weapon, and that weapon has been recovered tonight. So what we want to do now is hear from a witness who was at the Amazon Center tonight, and that's where our Robert Bradfield is as well. Robert?
Yeah, and for some of these employees, this is really the second time in now 3 months that they've experienced a shooting here. There was a man who was shot and killed, you may remember, back in June. He was waiting in line applying for a job, and then now this shooting here. One employee that we did speak with, she said she was sitting at her desk with her earbuds in when she described hearing several popping sounds. Now, she was not sure specifically what that was, but she did see several people running in different directions. Many of the employees did make it outside, some of them waiting in their vehicles for several hours we have seen tonight. And that is where we caught up with one employee recounting the shots that she heard. Listen.
It was like 4, 5. It was a lot though. It was more than just usually like the pallets dropping. The pallets dropping, it just would have been one little bang, and that's it. But it just kept going, so it was like, that's where I think everybody got confused. Because this is the second time at this location. I'm not taking a third chance.
And back out here live tonight, she says she does in fact plan on putting in a transfer notice. She says she simply has had enough with this location. You can also see, I'm checking over my shoulder, police are still providing a perimeter around this building. Again, the Florida Highway Patrol is here as well. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office giving us an update tonight. Again, a female shot inside this building as well. Another person taken to the hospital. Right now, they say his condition is unknown. We can also tell you that police, again, have this building still surrounded. Several of the employees that were here waiting in their vehicles for several hours have now decided to leave tonight. Again, many of them running from outside or inside the building, running outside, staying in the parking lot as well. But over my shoulder, the other direction as well, several of the employees that were waiting outside the fulfillment center have left for tonight. But again, JSO releasing information here, a woman shot and killed inside this Amazon center. We're live tonight. Robert Bradfield, First Coast News, on your side.
Robert, thank you. And just to clarify once again, this happened at the Amazon Fulfillment Center on Pecan Park Road. There is no threat to the public. This was not an active shooter situation. Of course, we will continue to follow this story for you. And this is not the first shooting at the Amazon Fulfillment Center this year. Back on June 29th, one person was killed and 2 others were hurt when shots rang out in the facility's parking lot. Investigators say the shooting was targeted.